So I'm a psychotherapist. I've been practicing for 25 years, and I'm an entrepreneur, as you mentioned. I built and sold Urban Balance, which is an outpatient mental health company that I started in Chicago. And I started it with $500 and $50,000 of student loans. I started it one therapist at a time as a mompreneur, trying to earn more income while I wasn't directly seeing clients. So I was able to successfully sell the company a few years ago for more money than I would have thought I would have ever made in a lifetime, of course, after making 1,000 mistakes. And so I love to share with people through my speaking and my writing what I learned through my clinical practice and my entrepreneurship about the psychology of money and how to leverage it to have a more prosperous life. Because our relationship with ourselves affects how we put ourselves out in the world. When we feel better about ourselves, we're more confident, we're more assertive, we negotiate, we advocate for ourselves, and we're courageous to expand our comfort zones and really put ourselves out there in a bigger way. So we grow up in our families and our cultures, and we learn belief systems about the world, about money, about our place in it. And those beliefs shape our careers, they shape our relationships. And so when we become conscious of how we think about ourselves, and if we have any self-limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging behaviors, we can shift those. We have the power and control to change that and to emancipate ourselves from self-limitation, and that will help us grow our businesses. I noticed in my therapy practice that as clients made progress in therapy, they started to earn more money because they were feeling better about themselves. And when we are dealing with depression or anxiety or trauma or relationship issues, which most of us have been during the pandemic, that can negatively impact our work performance and our productivity and even our morale or motivation. I know in my business, when I went through some real challenges, I thought I was going to have to file business bankruptcy, and it was terrifying. It affected my sleep. I had moments of panic and overwhelm. I was really scared and really quite embarrassed and ashamed to talk about it. And I think a lot of times we don't talk about our financial challenges or traumas because we're embarrassed or we feel uncomfortable or that other people will think about us differently. But I think we all deal with financial challenges from time to time in different ways. And again, it can affect our mental health, it can affect our relationships. And so it's so important to transcend the shame and stigma and to get help. As a new business owner, I know I dealt with imposter syndrome, and a lot of younger people feel that way. Like, I remember I felt like my business was fake. I just made it up and gave it this name, and I was telling people that I worked for Urban Balance, and it was me, you know? So I think that that's really normal and understandable. And so just to recognize that everyone feels that way. And the more you talk about it, the more it sort of decreases the power of the imposter syndrome. And then just to remember not to compare yourself to other people. We're all at different points in our trajectory. So people who are further along the path have learned a lot. And what I've discovered is that most people who are successful in business have had a lot of failures, myself included. And so, just to remember that having mental and financial resilience is part of being a business owner. And so to cultivate those skills, both financially and emotionally, so that you can weather any challenges and come out stronger. So it's a process, and entrepreneurship brings so many blessings, so much empowerment and creativity and learning and opportunities for growth. And one of my favorite things was having better work-life balance in terms of being your own boss. You can take time off when you need it. You can be there for your friends and family. You can have time for your leisure and hobbies. So I think that's really important. And I think it's important to access support. Again, that was one of my mistakes, was not accessing the business and financial support that maybe I needed. So I think coaching, counseling, financial advising getting involved in small business groups, anything where you're going to learn and be lifted up and supported by others is fantastic. I always advise my clients to imagine that they have a magic wand. And if they had a magic wand, what would they want their life to look like? And to aim high, to imagine your biggest dreams. So don't set ceilings for yourself. I did that early on in my career. I was like, I just need to make 60K a year or 100K a year. Blow the ceiling off that. Imagine that you're going to make millions a year. Imagine that your company is, I used to call my little tiny one single office our global headquarters. So having that kind of abundant thinking it manifests self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you stop that self-limitation, you start to imagine that anything is possible, and you start to make your dreams a reality, which is part of taking care of yourself. When you love yourself, you want your dreams to come true. You don't want your life to be small. And I always recommend to plan your career in the context of your life. So I am a recovering workaholic, so I always need to work at creating boundaries for myself around my work so that I can be a great mom, a great partner to my husband, have time with my friends, and most importantly, time for myself so that I can be available to everybody that I love. So definitely remember to plan for work-life balance and aim high. And I love making vision boards, or this year I made a manifestation list of everything that I want to achieve in 2022. And it might sound a little grandiose, but that's how we grow, is by dreaming bigger and knowing that it's possible. We just have to believe it's possible in order for it not to be impossible for us.